For the final video in my little Allegro series, this is a 1979 brochure for the Austin Allegro 3, the final iteration of the car built between 1979 and 1982 when it was replaced by the Austin Maestro. The Allegro 3 was a bigger upgrade than the Allegro 2 was, focusing on modernisation to keep sales ticking over until the Maestro was ready. The most noticeable bits are the new headlamps on this particular model, new grilles, and the removal of most of the chrome around the car, being replaced with black. In doing so, BL were dragging an old shape into the newest design trends, and to me that just looks a bit odd. It was the same story with the Maxi 2 launched about the same time, and although I mentioned constantly that I think the Allegro is a decent looking car, I can't say that for the Allegro 3. Sorry, I just think they were taking it too far, even if they really had to in order to keep it somewhat fresh. There's no doubt that this is more modern than the Allegro 2 though, but looking back from 2020, it's not an attractive modernisation. Never before in the history of motoring has the choice of a new car been so critical. You're probably counting costs more carefully than ever before. You're certainly looking hard at the car manufacturer's claims to fuel economy and running costs. You're looking for reliability and dependability. And in looking for a car that's affordable, economical and dependable, you're justifiably unwilling to sacrifice the pleasures of comfort, style and an enjoyable performance on the road. That's why you should meet the Allegro 3 range. Each car is based on the central Allegro design and engineering concept, each with something different to offer. Within the Allegro range, you'll find the car that's right for you, right now. In the pages ahead, we take you on a guided tour of the entire range. That opening statement is one that immediately reflects the fact that this brochure was published in December 1979. Not to go into too much depth, but the United Kingdom wasn't in its finest social or economic position. It's this same position that leads many people to point to the Allegro as a symptom of industrial turmoil and decline. They share the same aerodynamic, tough, easy to clean body shell. They share a transverse engine layout that contributes to big car comfort in small car dimensions. They share front-wheel drive for positive responsive traction, road holding and handling, servo-assisted dual-circuit braking, the unique Allegro hydrogas suspension system for a smooth ride with straight line and cornering stability. And they all feature anti-corrosion and weatherproofing finishes that make an Allegro a long-term investment. And yet, with all that practicality designed into the Allegro concept, you'll discover that every car in the range is an individual. You'll also discover, when you take a test drive, that an Allegro is extremely enjoyable to drive. That's why we call the latest Allegros the lively ones. And that is a lively shot, to say the least. Looking back at the really conservative photography of the Allegro 2 brochure, available only a year prior, this is a bit of a jump, both literally and figuratively. As ever, we start at the bottom of the range with the Allegro 1.1 and 1.3 that retain the square headlamps of the earlier cars. Despite looking a little sad maybe with those lights and the lack of a badge in the middle of the grille, I think they look better than the almost startled expression of the quad headlamp models. Two doors are now only available on the basic Allegro 1.1, and everything is just refreshed. So you have new instruments, new column stalks, and a new steering wheel, although again it doesn't have a badge on it for some strange reason. And again, as I mentioned, the same with that front grille, although the new Austin Morris chevron logo is shown down here at the bottom, replacing the old British Leyland roundel. Now the 1.3L, 1.5L and 1.7L, and the weird thing here is that the 1.3L is available as a two-door, despite the basic 1.3 not being. I have absolutely no idea. Just no clue, but the basic 1.1 Allegro is available as a two-door, the 1.3, four-door only, the 1.3L is available as a two-door. It's just odd. Anyway. The four Allegro L saloons are in the business of giving you considerably more value for remarkably little more money. They're distinguished by the discreet Allegro L badges, by a double coach line and by a smart matte black window trim. Look closer and you'll see more Allegro L features. Twin downpipe exhaust and twin SU carburetors increase the efficiency of the 1.5L engine even further. Not all the Allegro L charms are visible, however. Paintwork is electrophoretically bonded to the steel body. The underbody is bitumastically coated, and the body sills are wax injected. Every Allegro is built to take the worst that the British roads and weather can hand out. Front and rear suspension units are connected by the unique hydrogas system, common to all models. If the front wheel hits a bump, the rear wheel anticipates a reaction before it reaches the bump. In cornering, hydrogas firms up both outer suspensions, resisting the tendency to roll. The hydrogas system is sealed and needs no routine maintenance. Ha! The smooth ride it gives you has to be experienced to be believed. The Allegro cooling system is particularly efficient, with a cross-flow radiator and a thermostatically controlled electric fan that cuts in only when it's needed, making for a quieter ride and sparing use of fuel. The L's are continued onto this next page, highlighting the interior with the nylon seats as standard on the 1.1 and 1.3, and again the revised instruments, but this time with a clock on the right hand side. I'm just going to mention, just for my own sake, these new interior door handles, the same ones that would later be used in the Ital, then the Metro, Maestro and Montego. The Estate was also updated to Allegro 3 status, but again only with 3 doors as I mentioned last time, and if we flip this out, all the activities you can get up to in your Allegro 3 Estate. So my desk isn't quite big enough for this. There you go. Hope you can see that now. But yes, all the activities you can get up to with the load lugging capabilities of the Estate. Although I've always thought the rear end of the Estate's a little bit clumsy, the more I look at the window line here, again, my desk is not big enough. The more I look at this window line here, the more I appreciate it. But on the topic of load lugging, the Allegro design concept lends itself to an estate car adaptation with style and ease. The result, 4 Allegro Estates that couldn't look less like estate cars. The sleek styling, the long rear side windows, the aerodynamically efficient hatchback make these 4 of the most attractive load carriers on the road. And load carriers they certainly are. With the rear seat in position, they are 2-door, 5-adult saloons with a load capacity of a roomy 10.25 cubic feet. Fold the rear seat forwards easily and quickly, and you're rewarded with an unbelievable 53.06 cubic feet of load space, reached through a top-hinged, counterbalanced tailgate. No other estate car in this class has such a wide load space. Beneath the fitted carpet is a concealed, hinged floor section, revealing an extra storage compartment which houses the spare wheel, jack, and the reservoir for the electrically operated wash-wipe unit fitted to the heated rear window. The 1.3 and 1.3L estates are fitted with an automatic transmission as an extra cost option. The 1.7L estate has it fitted as standard. All 4 estates feature the new look full-width padded fascia and revised instrumentation and the sound insulating 2-piece moulded bulkhead. 2-speed heating and face-level ventilation make the Allegro estates comfortable in any weather. If the life you lead demands estate car carrying capacity, you couldn't do better than select your car from the 4 Allegro estates. You'll be buying an efficient and willing workhorse certainly. You'll also be buying a stylish and stimulating car in its own right. We now move on to the ultimate Allegros, the HLs, available as a 1.3A series or 1.5 and 1.7E series. Here you get the quad headlamps, more modern plastic wheel trims and also a vinyl roof. Both the 1.5HL and manual transmission 1.7HL models have a twin carburettor engine with a 5-speed gearbox. The twin carb 1.7HL is also the liveliest of all the cars in the Allegro 3 range. Its engine develops 90 brake horsepower at 5,500 RPM, a power output that results in a top speed of 100 miles per hour, and acceleration from 0 to 60 in only 11 seconds. The HL Allegros are fitted with tinted glass all round and tinted laminated windscreen. There are twin door-mounted driving mirrors, a silver and black anti-rub moulding along the body side at bumper level, and the matte black bumpers are distinguished by a bright insert. Every Allegro HL comes with an easy clean vinyl roof as standard. The standard 2 are 4 headlamps, twin fog lamps and 155/13 steel braced radial ply tyres that improve road grip and give you the benefits of long tyre life. Choose an Allegro HL and you will have chosen one of the top specification cars in the range, with the ultimate in Allegro luxury and appointment. And, depending on the engine size and level of performance that suits you, you'll still be rewarded with all the benefits of Allegro fuel economy into the very considerable bargain. Why modern cars don't have velour interiors, I will never know. Yeah, again, some interior stuff here. Again, just pause the video if you like to read it. I hope you can read it. If you can't, that's my fault. And there's a whole page at the back of the brochure here explaining and promoting the option of an automatic gearbox and a variety of Allegro trim levels along the side. Again, I prefer the more basic models with the older style wheel trims and the square headlamps. I just think it looks a bit nicer. At the bottom we see all the standard features that BL wants to tell you about. While a rear fog lamp and side repeaters weren't at all universal in 1979, there are lots of things here that are dated. Inertia reel seat belts, an electric cooling fan, face level vents, etc. might have been something to say when the Allegro was launched in 1973, but they seem a little bit ordinary by 1979. But anyway, here are all the specifications if you're interested. Just pause the video if you feel like it. And I'm just going to point out again that the standard 1.3 wasn't available as a two-door, but the 1.3L was. Again, I have no idea, just a quirk of the specification. Again, if my desk is big enough, you get down here for your weights, more specs down the side, and an overview of the model range. And here are your dimensions, which are really in-depth. I don't know whether I've just not noticed this in any other brochure, or that these ones are particularly in-depth, but there are a lot of numbers here. Now finally, down here, fuel economy, as is universal in these brochures, and an advertisement for Supercover, again pretty universal. Now the final thing is the back cover, which is a little bit interesting. As I mentioned earlier, the Chevron logo has arrived, with the Austin Maestro group dispensing any British Leyland branding, save for this little roundel down here. The company is still referred to as BL Cars, but being from December 1979, that era is at an end as Michael Edwards' product-led recovery was about to begin. The first new car was of course the Metro, and you can see my video on that brochure by clicking up in the corner now. Or alternatively you can see my MG Metro video from last year. So there's the end of my little Allegro brochure series. Hopefully a few of you did enjoy it, and if you did, then please do like the video and consider subscribing to TwinCam as well. It really does help. I'll have more of these videos coming along